Hello. Yeah. Good morning, everyone. So I think I'm audible, right? So yeah. So I'm Piyush Vairade. I will be the instructor for today's workshop. So from today onwards, we are going to start a DP900, that is Microsoft Azure Fundamentals workshop. Okay. So I hope that most of you have done the lab of AZ900s. I can see still many of you, like around 30% of students has not completed the lab. So please try to do. Okay. Because from today we are going to start TP900, so it will take more time. Okay, so yeah, that's the thing. And so I have created one post like day 3 doubts and clarification on Microsoft Teams. So can you all quickly give a thumbs up to that post so that I can show that you guys are here, right? So please go to Microsoft Teams. You can see one post, day 3 doubts and clarification. Give a thumbs up to that post on Microsoft Teams app. Okay, great. So yeah, so let me share my screen and first tell me what we are going to discuss today. Okay, so you can just Google it DP900, okay, and just go to this link, Microsoft Azure Data Fundamentals. So this is a link here. You can see a learning path. Okay, so what are the content that I'm going to cover during the workshop we have covered? It is from this particular items only. Okay, so before the exam, please go through this all the modules carefully. Okay, because we are going to cover the basic of thing, and here you can see lot more details, right? So as you can see, if you click here, so you can see few modules like so you have to complete those modules, right? And you can see these are the content. So if you go to this particular page, you can see items, and here you can see the skill measure, and you can see the weightage also, right? How much percent we are going, that topics is important for the particular exam, right? So that's it. I will post this link in the chat. You can go through it. Uh, Okay. So yeah, today we'll be covering the first two modules. This is the basically this Microsoft Azure Data Fundamentals and this one Explore Relational Data in Azure. Okay, and tomorrow we are going to cover non-relational data and this data analytics part. Okay, I hope that is clear. Yeah. So let me put the link. Okay, great. Okay, so let me just 1 minute. Okay. Okay, so before going to the details of the workshop, so like how many of you have completed the DBMS course here, database management system course? Can you please raise your hand? Okay, great. So whatever we are going to cover today, it's a same thing, okay, that we have learned during the DBMS course. So nothing new in that. So just we are going to revise the basic of it, okay? So it will be easier for you, those who have done the DBMS course, right? And even some students have not done a DBMS course, don't worry, I will be going in the detail at conceptual part. So yeah. Okay, thank you. You can lower your hands. No issue. Thank you. And one more thing, like yesterday, one student, like a few students have some issue regarding the lab that it is the deadline is 17th of December for today's. I think Abhinay Singh is here. Piyush Agrawal, can you quickly confirm, refresh your page and quickly confirm it's 18 December now? Piyush Agrawal and Abhinay Singh, I think if they are here, so or anyone those have uh, seen the deadline of 17 December. Okay. Hello. Yes, sir. 18. Yes, 18, right? Okay, great. Okay, thank you. So now let us start with the workshop. We'll stop my video. Just a second. Yeah. So is my screen visible? Okay, great. Yeah. So let us start with the DP900 course, that is Microsoft Azure Data Fundamentals. I am Piyush Vairade, instructor for today's workshop, and along with me, Adarsh will be there, right? He will be taking the tomorrow's workshop. Now, what are the course objective? So basically, we are going to discuss the core data concept, then the relational data, and non-relational data, and then data analytics. So today, first we are going to discuss these two topics, and tomorrow then we will discuss data, non-relational data, and data analytics part. Okay. So this is the course agenda. So in the fundamentals of a data, we are going to discuss about the core data concept and what are the various data roles of a database administrator, data engineer, and data analyst. Okay, and what are the services that Azure is going to provide for the database, like for data roles. Okay, so that we are going to discuss. And then we'll be discussing about the relational data in Azure. Okay, so we're going to see the relational data concept and what are the services that Azure provides us to like host the relational data or to get retrieve the data or do some data analysis. Okay, so that we are going to discuss in detail. And in the non-relational data in Azure, so we are going to discuss of fundamentals of Azure storage. So basically it is same as that what we have discussed during AZ900 workshop. Okay, so fundamentals of storage Azure and fundamentals of Azure Cosmos DB. So this will discuss. I recommend you to try the lab today only, even though we are taking this particular topic tomorrow, but I suggest you to do the lab of this particular topic today itself because it is same as AZ900. Okay, nothing new in that. So you can just quickly go through it. So this module and this module. So what happened? Yeah. So this also is having the lab. So I will be going through the lab also. Don't worry. And this lab you can try it out today. Okay, no issue. And then we have the fundamentals of data analytics, in which we are going to discuss about the large scale data warehousing, streaming and real time analytics, and then data visualization. So basically we are going to cover Power BI. Okay, not in detail, so that's what is required and what is given in this particular course. That's it. Okay, we have some lab also on this Power BI, so I request you to try that lab also. Okay, so the lab environment is for basically the lab that we are going to provide. So go to this particular website and sign the training key and complete the lab. So same as AZ900. Okay, nothing new in that part. Okay, so now, oh, so my screen is visible, right? And okay, okay, I can see few chats. Okay, no issue. Great. So let us start with the explore fundamentals of a data, right? Okay, so first we're going to discuss about the core data concept and various data roles and services. Okay, so first, what is data, right? So what is data here? So basically, data is, you all know that it is a collection of facts such as like numbers or any observation that we are going to record. So that's our information, right? So data is just a collection of facts, right? You can see a numbers, you can text, or you can store image, or all the collection of every item that is we refer to as a data, right? Now, the data is classified as structured data, semi-structured data, and unstructured data. So what is structured data basically? So structured data, here you can see an example. So we are storing the data in the tabular format, right? So basically the structured data has fixed schema. So what I means fixed schema here? It is fixed schema, okay? So basically all the data has the same field or the properties. Like here you can see the customer. So this customer is called as an entity, right? And this ID, first name, last name, email, attributes. So basically these are the columns and we refer it as attributes. Okay. So customer is the entity and these are the attributes, right? Now why we are calling this as a fixed schema, because we can, while creating this table in the database like relational database, RDBMS, relational database management system, basically we can uh, constrain this particular attribute. Like for this say first name, I have to the data type as varchar 6. So I cannot enter the first name of a student, say of any customer who is having more than 6 character. So basically we have the fixed schema. There is fixed number of column. We have the specific constraint to every column, right? So that's why we call it as a fixed schema or structured database. Okay, so yeah, and we'll be discussing in detail when we are going to discuss the relational model. Okay, in this today's topic only. Now the next is semi-structured data. So basically, in this the information that has some structure, like some structure is there, and but which allow us some variation between the entities. So basically, what you can see here. So this is a JSON file, right? So JSON file is an example of semi-structured data. Here you can see the first name, last name. We are storing like this in the JSON file, right? So this is basically example of semi-structured data. What is unstructured data? So basically which has no schema. So it has no schema, just a collection of data. So it can be text, it can be image, it can be videos, right? So this all comes under the unstructured data, right? So that's it. That's it. So I think data is classified as structured, semi-structured, and unstructured. I think this is clear. Nothing in that. You can go to the that DP 900 page. Okay, there is in detail it is mentioned here. So that's it. So but the main thing is that the structured has fixed schema, unstructured has no schema, and it has some schema, you can say limited, or you can see limited schema we follow here, right? That is the case. Yeah. Now next part is how data is stored, right? So first, basically a file format, right? So first thing is delimited text. So you must have seen CSV file, that is comma separated values, right? So here you can see the field, right? The first name, last name, email, and its corresponding values are there, right? It's Joe, Johns, and this is the email ID, right? So this is a delimited text. Then we have JSON file, that what we have discussed just now, that is semi-structured data. Then we have extensible markup language. Then we have binary large object, that is blob. And then we have this optimized format, right? So like as we all know what is CSV file. Oh, what happened? Uh, Hello. Yes, who is the host here? I think I am not a co-host right now. Someone. Okay. Yeah. Now visible. Okay. Yeah. Great. So So basically, what is delimited text? So here you can see CSV file, right? So instead of CSV, like instead of comma, you can use space also, that or tab also. It is tab separated value. Okay. CSV is comma separated value or space separated value. Like instead of comma, you can use space also. Like there are different delimited text, but we generally use CSV files only, right? Here you can see, right? Then what is JavaScript object that we all know? Right? These are the different types of file that we stored used to data. Then we have extensible markup language. So basically, it is a text based. So it is a text based format. So that defines the data entity. So here you can say entity customer, and it has an attribute using the markup text. So this you can say attribute using the markup text, right? So this is basically a XML file. Yeah. And then we have binary log object. So we are generally storing the data in the binary numbers, right? So technically all the files are blob only because we used to store all the files in the bits, right? So that's why it is blob. And then we have some optimized format. So why do we need optimized format? Like as the data is increasing day by day, the volume of data that organization needs to work is growing, right? So there are few techniques like or you can see few extra feature that we need so that we can have more optimized data, or we can say compressed data. That's why we have come up with this AVRO, ORC, and Parquet. Okay, these are the optimized format. So basically, AVRO is a row based format. So we are storing the data in a row. Okay. And this optimize ORC is basically a optimized row columnar. Okay. So basically we store the data in the columns rather than the rows. This is the ORC. And this packet is again here you can see I'm writing it here. It's again a columnar format only. So we are here also we are storing the data in a column format. So this is developed by Twitter. So you can go through the details on the DP900 page of this. Okay. So please remember like which format it supports and for which purpose we use. That's it. We are not going to discuss in that much detail. So this is about the files, right? Now we have the database. So we have relational database and we have non-relational database. Okay, great. So here you can see relational database. So these are the different entities. So customer is different entity, product is a different entity, right? And these are the attributes: ID, email, right? And address is all are the attributes, right? So basically, we use SQL, that is structured query language, to query the data from the relational database, right? And here you can see we are storing the data in different tables, right? And these tables are linked to each other. So basically, this ID. So there are two concepts. First one is primary key concept, primary key, and second one is foreign key, foreign key concept. So what is primary key concept? So basically what is the key? So key can identify record uniquely in a row. So each primary key is unique for each row. So if I know this particular key, I can get the data of all the fields, right? All the attributes. That is basically a primary key. And note that primary key should not be an repetitive value. It must be an unique. So primary key must be unique. So primary key must be unique. So it must be unique, and also it should not be a null, right? So primary key must be unique and it should not be a null. And now this is the primary key, and here you can see customer also. We are indicating by this particular line. So link it. We are linking this particular attribute to this orders table to the customer attribute. So basically this customer will become a foreign key, right? So foreign key is basically an attribute which are referring to which are taking the reference from a another table. It is a customer here. So you can see this ID of a customer is be taken as a reference to this orders table, right? Same here you can see For this order table, this order number is a primary key. Here also order number is a primary key. Here ID is a primary key, and this quantity is a foreign key, right? So that's it. Here it is a foreign key and it is a primary key. So we are taking the reference of this particular customer from this customer table. We are taking the reference of this order number in line item from this particular order table. We are taking the reference of this particular quantity in the line item table from this particular product table, right? So if I want a data, so suppose, just 1 minute, let me erase that. Suppose if I want the data, which product has been ordered by this particular email ID Joe. So what I need to do first, I will take his ID, then I will map with the custom order table. So ID is 1. So his order number is 1000. Then I will go to this item particular table. This 1000 order number. The product ID is 123, right? Sorry, this product ID will become a foreign key here, right? Taking the reference of this ID from the product table. Now from this product ID, I can know that product name is hammer. So Joe has ordered a product named hammer whose price is 2.99. The quantity is 1, right? And this is the order date. So from this table, I can get all the information about the customer Joe, that he has ordered a product hammer whose price is $2.99, and this product ID is 123 and order date is 1/1/2022, right? So this is how this relational data base works, right? We have a different table and there is some relationship among the tables, right? So generally this relationship is established among different tables using the foreign key, right? So for this particular workshop, just that primary key and foreign key concept. So you just need to know the definition of it, right? What is the purpose of it? That's it. Not much in detail, right? So, and we use SQL for get the data from this relational database, right? So this is about the relational database, right? We are storing the data in different tables, and there is some relationship among those tables, right? Using the foreign key concept. That's it. Now coming back to the non-relational database. So generally we say as NoSQL, right? So we have different types of non-relational database. So first one is key value pair, then document, then column family, and then one more is that is graph database, right? So key value, if I ask me, like basically what we are doing here, we are storing the data, like there is one key having its corresponding value, right? And here also you can see the key value pair, but here the value is document, right? So basically in which in the key value pair, each record consists of a unique key, right? And it has some associate value to it, right? Here you can see these values, right? And now in what happening in document databases, it is a key value database in which the value is basically our JSON file, right? Here you can see it is a key and value is basically a JSON document, right? So if I tell the example of the document database, you must have heard about the MongoDB, right? So MongoDB is basically a document oriented database. Now, if you see this orders table, it has a column family, right? So columnar family database. So basically, you are storing the data in tabular data, like it consists of rows and columns. But here you can see you can divide the columns into groups, right? So which are related to each other. So here you can see the column family. The customer is different column, but here you can see the column families as name and address. So this name and address belong to this customer. This name and price this belong to this product, right? If you compare with the relational database, here you can see we are storing these two information into different tables. But in the column family, what we are doing, we are just dividing this particular column. We are taking this entity and we are dividing this particular column. Like two attributes are there, name and address. Here you can see product name and address, right? And key will be the unique for each particular group. So the basic example, like if you ask the database name, so you must have heard about Cassandra, right? So Cassandra is basically a columnar family, right? And then next is graph database, right? This one here you can see graph one. So graph database. So here you can see these are the entities. So basically entities are stored in the nodes. So basically we store the entities as a node with the links indicates the relationship between them. So here you can see Ben and Sue. Okay. So both works in the department hardware, but Bain reports to the SIU, right? So from this particular graph, we can tell Bain and SIU both works in the hardware department, and Bain is reporting to the SIU, right? So this is basically a graph database. So we'll be discussing in detail in the tomorrow's session, but I'm giving the overview of this, right? So basically, what is graph database? So Gremlin. So Gremlin is one of the example of graph database, and key value here you can show like Azure supports Azure table storage, right? So that is a key value database, and one of the famous key value database is Amazon DynamoDB. Okay, you can just Google it. It is not required for the course, but just for purpose I'm telling it, you can just Google it. Amazon DynamoDB, it is the key value database, right? So this is regarding the non-relational database. So we have a different queries. So each, like for relational database we use SQL, that is structured query language, to get the data, and for non-relational database we have a different format for each database type, right? So that's it from the relational and non-relational database, right? Here no SQL doesn't mean does not mean that it does not support the SQL. So there will be some variant of the SQL language, but so knowledge of SQL is required to understand the NoSQL, right? So that I can say. Now the next slide we will be discussing about the transaction data workload, right? So whenever I heard the word transaction, what comes to our mind? That is a monetary transaction, right? So suppose I have account A and account B. In account B, I have 1,000 rupees. In account B, I have say 2,000 rupees, right? Now I want to transfer 100 rupees from account A to account B, right? And at the end, what will happen? My remaining balance will be 900, and here it will be 2,100, right? This simple transaction from account A to account B. I'm transferring 100 rupees from account A to account B, right? So now what is transaction data workload here? I hope you understand about the transaction. So basically data is stored in database that is optimized for online transaction processing. So this OLTP, please remember the full form OLTP. This online transaction processing. There's one more AP, right? So that we're going to discuss. Right? Suppose the application, right? So basically OLTP supports the mix of read and write activity, right? So for example, read the product table. We can read the product table and write to the order table. So for example, if you go to the restaurant, they will give the menu, right? So basically you're reading the menu first, right? And after that you are ordering the right. So basically read and write operation both allowed. So that is also one of the transaction. You're reading the value, then you're ordering something, right? That is also one of the transaction you can say. Now what is OLTP? So basically OLTP is a live system in which data storage is optimized for both read and write operation, right? So yeah, and OLTP supports the ACID properties, right? So every transaction must support the ACID properties, right? So what are those ACID properties? So A stands for atomicity, C stands for consistency, I stands for isolation, and D stands for durability. So now what is atomicity? Right? So each transaction is treated as a single unit of work which succeeds completely or fails completely. Right? Say, just consider this example. What I have said earlier, that I am going to transfer 100 rupees from account A to account B. Right? Now either this transaction totally complete or it should fail. That is atomicity says, right? Suppose my account got debited, that 100 rupees got debited but not transferred in the account B. So my this property is getting failed here, atomicity, right? So it will so my 100 rupees will come back to my particular account, right? So that we'll discuss, that is different part, but it's basically atomicity, right? So either transactions are fully completed or not, or it can fail, right? So either 100 rupees should be transferred to the account B or not, right? So it should not happen that it is debited from the account A, not transferred in account B, right? So it will violate the atomicity property of a transaction, right? Now what is consistency? Transaction can take only data in a database from one valid state to another valid state. So for example, before transaction, the summation of account A and account B is 3,000 rupees, right? Now after completing the transaction, what is the amount? Same 3,000 rupees, right? So my database must be in a consistent state, right? From one value state to another state. That is this the consistency property. Now what is isolation property here? As name indicate. So concurrent transaction cannot interfere with one another, right? So say suppose we are taking the same example, another transaction is happening at the same time, right? So it should not affect the transaction. So the concurrent transaction must take in isolated, right? So it should not interfere the one transaction. That is basically the isolation properties. Now, what is durability here? So, when transaction has succeeded, data changes are persisted in the databases. So, what it means? Suppose if I complete this transaction and 100 rupees got credited in the account B. So, say now after say I have done this transaction at 11 a.m. and my database got filled at 3 p.m. Right? So it does not mean that this 100 rupees will go back to the database account A, right? So my database will still persist, right? Even if my database fails, right? So that is basically durability. So my changes in the database should persist even after the database fails, right? But for that, the transaction must commit, right? So transaction must commit. Means it should successfully happen. Must commit it, right? So that is the case like about the acid properties. So these are the important one. If you refer to any exam, like say GATE or anything, or even this DP900, you can expect one question from this particular acid properties. Okay. So because it is the part of the content, so you can expect 100%. You can expect one question from this acid properties, and this is enough, right? So this part is enough, and you can also go through the content that is given on the website. Now, the next part is analytical data workloads, right? So in the previous case, I have discussed about the OLTP. Now here I will discuss about the OLAP. OLAP, that is online analytical processing, right? So here you can see, but this analytical data workloads are typically only read-only system. It is basically read-only system. Like if you remember, OLTP basically read and write operation supports. Here only it's supposed read-only system, right? Now, so you can see the data files may be stored in central data lake for analysis. So this is data lake, right? So basically, it is storage where we are putting all data from all the formats, right? In this particular data lake, and here you can see our relational database of any file, right? So we are taking the data, we are putting it in a data warehouse, that is by using the ELT process, so extract transform process. So that we'll discuss in detail, and copies the data from this particular files and OLTP database into a data warehouse that is optimized for read activity, right? So data warehouse support relational data, right? So what it will do, it will, with the help of ETL process, it will transform the data into the relational schema, right? So that is optimized for the read operation, right? Yeah. Now then what is happening, this is basically you can see like OLAP, the data in the warehouse may be aggregated and loaded into online analytical process model or cube. So here you can see different services that Azure has offered that will be a part of OLAP. Okay, and by using these services, we can get some insight from our data, right? So data in the data like data warehouse analytical model can be queried to produce a report from the dashboard. So here we are getting the data. Here we are doing the ETL process by converting into a relational schema, then we are aggregating the data and we are just putting it into the OLAP model. So these are different models, okay? And this is my user, or say we are data analyst or business analyst. By using any of this data from DL, data warehouse, all this basically model, we can generate the reports, right? That is basically analytical data workloads. It's not like that after creating this model only we can generate the reports. We can directly take the data from data lake and we can create the reports also, right? So there are something Azure's Synapse Analytics that we'll discuss in tomorrow's workshop, right? So this is about the analytical data workload, right? Yeah. So like as I suggested, like depend upon the case study. Like data analyst might work directly on this data lake, right? Business user might be interested in this particular model, and data analyst might be interested in from data warehouse, right? Relational data. So based on your role or requirement, you can use any of the storage, and you can do the analytic, right? Analysis. That's it. Yeah. So let us have a few questions. So tell me what is the answer of this first question? How is data in the relational table organized? Option A, option B, option C. Which one is correct? Just put in the chat. A, right. So correct option is option A. That is row and column, right? Now what about the question number 2? Which of the following is an example of unstructured data? I already discussed. Option B, option B, option B. Yeah. So audio and video files are the examples of unstructured data. Now, what is the correct option for this question number 3? What is data warehouse? I can see B, C, A. I already discussed what is data warehouse in the previous slide, right? So correct option is option B here. That is relational database optimized for read operation, right? It is a data warehouse. Now the next thing is like the data roles. Yeah, so data roles and services, right? So what is the role of database administrator, data engineer, data analyst, right? So basically, data administrator has database provision, configuration management, security, backup, resilience, performing and monitoring optimization. These are the roles of a database administrator. Data engineer, data integration pipelines using ETL process and data cleansing, transformation, this analytical data work stories, all are the roles of a data engineer. Data analyst, analytical model, data reporting, summarization, data visualization. So just you can go to this slide. It is a role of a professional roles of a data analyst. It's not like that data cleaning is given here. So data analysts will not do data cleaning. So they have to do data cleansing transformation also, right? So just go through this slide. Okay, nothing in it. Yeah. So now the next slide is Microsoft Cloud Services. So what are the services that Microsoft is providing to us? So for data storage, it is Azure SQL. So basically, it supports MS SQL Server, right? For Microsoft SQL, it supports MS SQL. So family of SQL Server based on the relational database service. Now Azure is database for open source. So MariaDB is open source relational database. MySQL is also relational database. PostgreSQL also relational database. So those who have done a DBMS code, they must know about the PostgreSQL, right? So we are using PostgreSQL as our relational database system only, right? So which is open source database. So Azure also support PostgreSQL, okay? So we'll see how to create a server of PostgreSQL in the today's lecture, right? Then it is Azure Cosmos DB. It is highly scalable for non-relational database system. You can import the data from various non-relational database into this particular database. Right? It's Azure Cosmos DB, right? And then you can perform some analytical work based on you, that, right? Then we have a storage, that is we can store file, log, table storage, right? So hierarchical namespace for data lake storage. So you must have seen in the our previous yesterday's workshop, right? It's Azure storage. Now, what are the data engineering and analytics? So Azure Data Factory used for data pipeline. Sorry. Then we have Azure Synapse Analytics integrate end to for analytics purpose. We can create the pipelines, we can query the data, right? We can explore the data. So basically, it is used for analytic purpose. Then we have Azure Databricks. Then we have HD Insight, that is Hadoop. It's about Hadoop. Then Azure Stream Analytics. So basically, if you are dealing with the IoT things, then the real-time data we need to process, right? So that's why we can use this Azure Stream Analytics for processing the real-time data. So there are two concepts, that is batch data and one is stream data, right? So basically, we are doing in stream data, we are processing the data at a real time. As we are getting the data, we are processing it. In the batch data, what we are doing, we are processing in a batch, right? So maybe after 1 hour, if we collect the data, I will process that particular data. So processing in batch. So we'll discuss in detail in the next module. Okay, don't worry. Then we have Azure Data Explorer. Then we have Microsoft Purview. Then we have Microsoft Power BI. Right. So you can just go through these services. So for exam purpose, so why like for what purpose these services use? That is that is the necessary, right? We don't need to know much in detail about this particular services, but which services we have to use in which case, for that you should know what are the purpose of this particular services, right? So for which purpose we use this particular services, that's it. Okay, so let us do knowledge check. Now tell me, what is the correct option for question number A? Which one of the following tasks is responsibility of a database administrator? Database administrator, we have just discussed in the previous slide. The correct option, option A, option A, option A, option C. Yes, the correct option is option A. Backing up and restoring database. This is the correct option. Creating dashboard and reports, data analyst. Creating pipelines and process data in data lakes, data engineer. Right? Then what is the correct option for question number 2? Which role is most likely to use Azure Data Factory to define a data pipeline for ETL process? Right? Data engineer. So correct option is option B, data engineer. Right? So whenever you see this data pipeline, please think about the data as a data factory. Okay. Then the next question is, which single service would you use to implement data pipeline, SQL Analytics and Spark Analytics? So Azure SQL Database basically RDBMS, Power BI data analysis tool, right? So basically we use Azure Synapse Analytics. It is option C is the correct one, right? Yeah. So that's it from the module 1. We'll be discussing about the relational data, right? So anyone have any doubt in this particular module, you can post in the chat. Or what you can do, I have created a post, like you have given the thumbs up also. So you can just post on that question, right? Whatever the doubt you come across during this workshop, just post on this date 3. Okay. Like other student can also help. Like many of you have done a DBMS course, so they can also help you. And we all are there also. We can also reply to that particular query. Okay. So what are the doubts you have from today's workshop? You can post it under day 3 doubts and clarification post. Okay, on Microsoft Teams. Yeah. So just 1 minute. Okay. Great. So yeah, please post your doubt and on that particular thread. Okay, day 3 doubts and clarification Microsoft Team. Yeah. So now we'll be starting with the relational database in Azure. It is a module 2. So here we are going to discuss about the relational data concepts and what are the services that Azure provides us, right? Yeah. So first one is relational table, right? So basically in relational database schema, the data is stored in the tables that you can see it consists of various rows and columns, right? So generally these columns is called as attribute, right? And these are the entities, right? And here you can see relational database are format for structured data only, right? So and each row in the table has some columns, right? So here you can see like for middle name, here you can see there is no value. You can see a null value here or empty value. So it is also we can say, because if we are not going any constraint to this middle name, say suppose by creating the table, if we are not going any constraint like not null, so then we can have null values also. But if we given this constraint not null, then we cannot have the null values. Okay, so it depends on the structure of a schema and what are the constraints we are given to the attribute, right? Now here the data is stored in tables, as you can see here. Table consists of rows and columns. All rows have the same columns, right? So in a particular table, all rows have the same number of columns, and each column is assigned a data type. So data type we have integer data type, varchar data type, and different types of data types are there in SQL. So that we are not going to discuss in today, but you can just Google it, right? Yeah. And like I have already discussed about the primary key and the foreign key, right? So that is the case from this relational database. And like any other thing I want to, okay, that's it. So same thing, right? Yeah. So suppose I have a big table. Say suppose consider the sales data. Okay. Now we'll discuss about the normalization part. Okay. So please, it is not that much in detail for this particular exam. So whatever we are going to discuss today and what is given in the website, that is enough. So basically, what is normalization process? So basically, we have our data, say sales data, and we have too many columns, right? So it will be a huge task to update any particular value, right? So there will be lots of duplicate value also, right? There will be redundant value also, right? So in order to avoid this duplicate redundancy, we decompose this one table into multiple tables. You can see customer table, order table, product table, right? So basically here you can see separate each entity into its own table. So what is the purpose of normalization? So basically to reduce the duplicate and redundancy, right? So here you can see order number 1000. We need to repeat this particular data, right? Two times just because he has ordered two different products, right? But if I divide this table into say two or more table, here you can see I can just use one row for this particular Joe, right? For customer table and one row for this particular order table. I don't need to mention it twice, right? So that's why we do the normalization process, like to avoid duplicate redundancy in our database, right? So there are different normal forms, different rules of normalization, how to decompose these tables. So we are not going to discuss that much in detail. Okay, so this is the thing, right? So yeah, so just remember, so basically it is a process. So I will write it here. It is a process that minimize data duplication and remove the redundancy, right? Or you can say, and also enforce data integrity, right? So using the foreign key concept, we can enforce the data integrity also, right? Now here you can see separate each discrete attribute into own column, uniquely identify each uh, instance, basically row using the primary key. So we already discussed primary key. So for a customer table, this one ID is the primary key. For order table, order number is the primary key, and this customer is a foreign key taking the reference of this particular ID from the customer table. Now here you can see this order number is a foreign key taking the reference from the order number from this particular order table, right? Same here you can see product ID. Product ID is a foreign key taking the reference of this ID from the products table, right? And use foreign key columns to link the related entities, right? So yeah, so that's it. The concept of primary key and foreign key only. This much thing is required for this particular course, right? So this is about the normalization process. Now we'll come to a structured query language. So we don't need to know the whole SQL for this particular workshop. So whatever we are going to discuss today, that is enough, right? So basically, it is a standard language to deal with the relational databases, right? So most RDBS system support extension of SQL only, right? So for our DBMS course, like in IITM, we'll be using PostgreSQL, right? So PostgreSQL, MS SQL, Oracle DB, MySQL, is all are the relational database. Only the difference is that like Postgres supports few more built-in functions, right? So minor difference are there in the syntax also. So now what is DDL, DCL, and DML? So basically, DDL is data definition language. So whenever we are creating a table, say product table, right? We need to define its attribute, table name, and the data type, right? Suppose I want to create a table product, I can write this. Like this is a syntax for creating table, create table, then table name. Now in this case, it is a product. And what are the attributes? So attributes are product ID, integer is the data type, and primary key is the constraint, right? Where name is a data type, so name is the attribute name, and varchar is a data type. So 20 is indicate that it can take at most 20 character name, okay, and it should be not null. And price is in decimal, and it can be a null value, right? So this is basically a products table. So the DDL are create command, alter, drop, rename. So please remember this: create, alter, drop, rename. This I will mark it as a star. So it is a DDL command. Now what is DCL? As a name is indicates control language. So if you want to grant or revoke any permission to any specific user, so for that purpose we use this grant or revoke command, right? So for grant, select, insert, update on product to user one. So user one can only perform select query or insert the data or update the data, right? On on the products table. Hello, hello. Any doubt? Anyone? Okay. This is about the data control language, right? So suppose I am not granting the permission to insert or update, only select. So user one cannot perform the insert or update operation on this particular product table, right? And I can also revoke this permission afterward also. That is about the data control language. So now data manipulation language DML. So insert, update, delete, select. It's all other data manipulation command, right? So here you can see if I want uh, name and price from this particular product, I can simply use select name price from product where price is this, right? Where price greater than 2.50 and order by price, right? So so here it is not mentioned ascending or descending order. So by default it is ascending order. Okay. So for those people who have not done the DBMS course or don't know SQL, so just remember three things here. You should know about these three things like DCL, DML, and DDL command. Then you should know simple select query, right? What is simple select query? Suppose we have one more table. Say suppose, let me erase this. Yeah. Suppose I will add a few more columns here. Say name, then I will add age, then I will add pin code also. Okay. For example, so we have five attribute: name, ID, age, price, and pin code. Okay. So what is the select query? If I just want name and price, what I can do, select name, comma, price, right? If you want all the attribute, you can just use select star asterisk, right? Sorry. So select star and from then table name, which is the table name here, that is product. So here you will get all the records from the product table. Select star means all the attributes from product table. If you just want name and price, so what you can do, select name, price from product. So you will get only name and price as a column from products table, right? And suppose if you want to perform any filtering operation, you can use where clause. That is where clause, and you can apply any condition. Like here you can see price greater than 2.50, right? That's it. So the main thing about the SQL thing, like those who are not done the DBMS course or don't know SQL, so you should know simple select query. What happened? Simple select query also with where clause, right? Where clause. That's it. So select an attribute name or select star from product name, or you can just use for filtering condition. You can use where clause, right? And this DDL DML command you should know. That's it. And one more thing is that about the joins. So they will not going to ask the query, but here you can see, suppose I'm just telling you, if I want to get a data, like for example here you can see I want a name of a customer who has ordered a product hammer, right? So I want a name of a customer who has ordered a product hammer. What I need to do? I need to take this ID, I need to map with this particular order table, then take this ID, I need to map with this particular item, and then from this product ID, I will get the name, right? So for this, we need to join this different table, right? So what we can do, we can simply use join operation. Select asterisk star means we will get all the attributes from. Now suppose if I want to join this customer and order table, what I can do from customer, then join, then order. I can use inner join also, inner join or simply join on. So you must need on, and on which attributes. Say here you can see these are the ID from customer table, and here you can see customer ID from this order table, because this is a foreign key referencing to the customer table, right? So what I can do, customer dot ID equals to order. So customer attribute from order table, right? That is customer. That's it. So this is a simple query to perform the to join operation. That if you need to join two tables, you can just write this query. Select star from customer, that is table 1, inner join table 2. Okay, I will write it down here. Just a minute. So table 1 join table 2, and on is necessary, and then on which attribute. So this you can see these are the attribute, right? So basically table 1 dot, which is the referencing attribute, right? That you need to mention, like in this case customer dot id equals to order dot id. That's it. You don't need to know anything about more SQL. Simple select query and simple how to join the table. That's it, right? Even the concept is required. That's it. That is enough. And about this particular ddl dcl dml command, that's it, right? So I guess it is clear to everyone, this SQL part, right? Okay. Yeah. So now there are different database object, right? Yeah. So first one is views, right? So what are the views in SQL, right? So like, yeah, so here you can see it as a predefined SQL query that view as a virtual table. So basically, we use a virtual table. We are storing the output of this particular SQL query. So you can see this SQL query. Like select order number, order dates, address. These are the attribute from order, as O is a renaming operation, as join customer on this particular attribute, right? So we are just simply joining these two table, and we are getting the output as it is, right? So we are storing this particular output of this SQL query in a virtual table which whose name is deliveries, right? So create view deliveries as is a simple SQL query, right? And we are storing that output of this SQL query in the table, that is so in the view deliveries, right? So it's simple concept of views, right? So that's it. And that's why I discussed about the join. So you can like, no need to discuss like but no need to know in detail, but you just know the concept, right? That is enough. And about the store procedure, so predefined SQL statement that can include parameters. So we can create a procedure by name, rename product, and add product ID integer, and where address new name equals to work at 20. So as the update operation happens, set name equals to new name, where product where ID is equals to product ID. So this is a simple procedure. We can call the procedure anytime. So this is how we call the procedure. That is exec, then the particular name 2000 sorry 201 spanner, right? So where the product ID is 201, the name should be changed. So name, set name as new name is spanner, right? So set name to spanner where product ID is 201. So we are just updating the value of this particular range to spanner. We are just calling the procedure directly, right? And these are the indexes. So it is a tree based structure that improves the query performance. So this is how we create an index. Is index name and basically on the table, right? This is product name. So there are lots of so there are many indexes like B3, B plus 3. So that we're not going to discuss in detail. That's it. So please remember this view, store, procedure, indexes. So these are the common object that is given in the content. So please go through it. Okay. That will be enough from this. Yeah. Then yeah. So yes. So what is the correct option for question number 1? It is which one of the following statements characteristics of relational database? Is anyone correct option? All columns in the table must be of same data type. A row in a table represents a single instance of an entity. A row in the same table can contain different columns. Right? So the correct option is option B here. Yeah. It's row in a table represents a single instance of an entity. Now, which SQL statement is used to query tables and return the data? Yeah, we already discussed. That is the correct option is option C here, right? It's option C. Yeah. And what is an index? Question number 3. Okay, great. Option A. That is structure that enables query to locate the row in a table quickly. So optimization part, right? That is an index, right? So virtual table based on query result, that is views, right? And predefined SQL statement that modifies the data, that are the store procedure, right? You just need to know the definition, right? That's it. Yeah. Okay. Now that's it from the relational databases. Now, what are the services that Azure provide for relational data, right? Yeah. So here you can see Azure SQL, right? So basically, it is a family of SQL server based on the cloud database services, right? So we have SQL Server for Azure VMs. Basically, it is a infrastructure as a service. Then we have Azure SQL Managed Instance, and we have Azure SQL Database. Right. So basically, what is SQL Server on Azure VM? So basically, it provides infrastructure as a service solution in which the full instead of SQL Server is installed in the VM. Yeah. So basically, in this particular SQL Server on Azure VM, so full instance of SQL Server is installed in the virtual machine. Okay, and yeah, and you can say guarantee compatibility to SQL. It provides flexibility to us, like we can have a lot more option. Then we can pay for the server VM running cost and get on the hybrid cloud. You can just go through this. Okay. That's it. Then we have Azure SQL Managed Instant, right? So basically, it is a platform as a service that enables us to provide compute the resources, right? Say suppose like nearly 100% compatible with SQL Server on premises. It provides automatic backup software as it is a PaaS service, so it provides automatic backup software patching, monitoring, and maintenance tasks. And here, in the case of this VM, we need to do it right because it is an infrastructure as a services, right? But here it is a platform as service, so it will automatically backup, right? So it will take the backup and use single instance with multiple databases. We can do that. Great for migration most on-premises databases to the cloud. So yeah, this is the thing. And the next part is Azure SQL database. So core database functionality compatible with SQL Server, automatic backup. So all the features of past here, right? Single database or elastic pool to dynamically share resources across the multiple database. Great for new cloud-based applications. Okay, so just go through this slide. That's it. Now the data services for open source. So there are few open source relational database management system that is for MySQL. Then we have MariaDB. Then we have PostgreSQL, right? So that what we are using in our DBMS course, right? So basically, this all as a platform as a service, right? So same, all are the same thing. All are the relational databases only. Are DBMS, okay? But only some minor difference are there, okay? So Yeah. So now we'll be discussing about the lab. So in this lab, we need to configure and query Azure SQL databases, right? So if you go through your lab, you can see to configure the Azure SQL databases, right? But today I will show you like many of you have done the DBMS course and must be doing the DBMS course in the upcoming times. So there will be using PostgreSQL, right? So today I will show you how to host the PostgreSQL server on Azure. Okay. In the lab, it is for Azure SQL database, one and the same thing. But I will show you how to host the PostgreSQL and how to connect this particular database using our pgadmin. So basically, pgadmin is a GUI tool for PostgreSQL, which we are going to use on our DBMS course. Okay. So that's it. So at first, we will be taking few questions. So okay, we have some knowledge check here. Yeah. Now tell me, what is the correct option? What is the correct option for option question number one? A. Which deployment offers the best compatibility when migrating an existing SQL server on-premises solution? The correct option is option C, that Azure SQL Managed Instance, right? You can see when migrating an SQL server on-premises. So such keyword you should pay attention, right? If you remember the previous slide, here you can see great for migrating almost on-premises database to the cloud. So please go through all the point. Okay, we'll be sharing the slide. Don't worry. Please go through the points. Yeah. So the next question is, which of the following statement is true about the Azure SQL databases? Question number two. Correct option is one, and it's option A. Most database maintenance tasks are automated, right? Yeah. So it is a platform as a service. Now, which database service is simplest option for migrating LAMP application to Azure? Option A, option B, option C, different options. The correct option is Azure database for MySQL. So you can commonly use in Linux, Apache, MySQL, PHP. It is LAMP application architecture. Okay. So yeah. So please go through it also, right? So yeah. Correct option is option C here. Option B here. So that's it. We'll be taking the question and we'll be doing one lab here today. Yeah. Anyone, any doubt from today's content? Yeah, we'll be sharing the slide. Don't worry. I suggest you go through the Microsoft Learn website. Okay. So I have discussed the conceptual part, but few things like concept like theoretical part, you should go through the website only, right? As we have seen like last two questions, right? Directly from the theoretical part. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So now let me discuss the lab, but yeah, just 1 minute. Example of isolation and durability. Say for example, I have my transaction is going on. Say there are multiple concurrent transaction, so it should take place one after another, right? So it should not like that transaction like T1 is completing first and T2 like both are going interfering each other, right? So it should be isolated from each other. Durability means the my changes in a database should persist, right? Say for example, I'm transferring the date money from one account to another account, so even after database failure, if my transaction is completed, it should be consistent. It should be in consistent state. That's it. Okay, we'll be sharing the slides. Don't worry. Yeah. So just 1 minute. So lab. How I can share. Yeah. So this is your lab, right? So here if you see this explore relational data in Azure, so here you need to create for Azure sorry SQL database, right? Azure SQL database which support MS SQL, right? And then later on you can discuss about the non-relational data, sorry Azure. So after the today's workshop, please try these two labs, second number and third number. We'll be discussing the content in the next workshop, but I suggest you to go through the exercise first. Okay, it is easier. So yeah. So here, if you go on the Microsoft Learn website, here you can see exercise about relational database services. In the lab, that in the training lab, will be you will be doing with the Azure SQL databases. Okay, so training lab is provided for the Azure SQL databases, where you need to create a simple database, and database is already there. Like AdventureWorks name database is there, and you need to query the data. You don't need to write the query. You can simply click. You have to simply click on the T option, right? That is a text option. So if I can launch, it will take some time. Yeah. So, but now I'll be showing how to host the PostgreSQL on our Azure platform. Okay. Now, just 1 minute. So you need to perform this lab on the lab we have provided. I will be using my personal account. So you need to provide. You need to do this exercise. What is given in the training labs. Okay. Yeah. So just 1 minute. Yeah. It's that page. Uh, just 1 minute. Yeah. So is my screen is visible? This screen, our Azure portal.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, great. So we'll be hosting a PostgreSQL databases. Okay. So in the lab you can practice for a SQL database, but here we'll be see how to host the PostgreSQL database and how to connect using our SQL editor, right? So for that you just need to go on the create a resource and you can search Azure database for Postgres. Here you can see Azure database for Postgres. Just click here. Right? Now you need to create. Click on create. Now resource type is recommended flexible. So flexible server only. Click on create. Yeah. So then you will get this detail, like project details. So subscription is a free trial. So and if you have a resource group earlier, I have created a resource group. So you can use that resource group or you can create a new one. So I will create a new one. So I will give IITM Azure. Okay. So that is my resource group. Okay. Then you have to enter your server name. So that must be unique. So what I will do, I can give any name. Say suppose, what name should I give? Say Azure IITM. Okay. name is available, right? Azure ID name is available. I will select the region, Central India. The version you can select. So I have my PG admin which supports version 12, 13, 14. So I will go for 12. Then you have to select the workload type development only, right? Then scroll down. Rest of the thing just keep it as it is. And here you can see admin username. So you can give any username. So I will give IITM, say Piyush one, right? And you need to give password also, right? Okay. Don't need to. Hello. Yes. Anyone? Yeah. You don't need to try this particular thing, but I'm just showing you how to create, how to host the Postgres, right? Then click on next networking. Then allow public access. Yes. You can click here add current IP address. So we should able to uh, read the data, right, from our public client IP address. Then just scroll down. Yeah. So service minus key, keep as it is. Next tags, you create, keep as it is. Okay. Now I will create, click on create. So deployment is in progress. It will take around 5 minutes. Okay. So deployment. After that, we'll get the credentials like what is the server name, what is the password, right? That we have already mentioned here. By using those credentials, we can access the database from anywhere. Like I will be using pgadmin. We can use Python also for getting the data from this particular uh, Postgres database because anyway we are hosting this on cloud, right? Yeah. So any question till then? Deployment is in progress. Okay, my this screen is visible lab or no?
Yes, sir.
This black screen is visible student lab.
Yes, sir.
Okay, just 1 minute. Yeah. So here you can see this is your lab, right? Explore relational data in Azure. Then simply you need to click on this T only to automatically get typed, right? And if you scroll down here, you can see you have to create a resource for Azure SQL. Then after creating a resource, like same process I have followed till here, right? Wait, step 8. After that, what you have to do, you have to use the query editor, right? And these are the few tables that already mentioned in the lab. So while creating a table, you have to use some database name is mentioned here. Yeah. So while doing the lab, you will get one option for which you need to use the sample databases. Yeah. So it will create a sample database for you, and based on that, you can just simply query the you can use this query tool and then query the database, right? Because this Azure SQL supports, it's built by our Microsoft only, MS SQL Server. That's why it supports the query tool, query editor. This PostgreSQL is a third-party open source database, so that's why we need to use the any other query tool. That is, say, pgadmin or PopSQL is also there, right? So you can use any query tool for the connecting. And here you can see PostgreSQL, sorry, pgadmin. It is visible, my screen, pgadmin tab.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, this tab is not visible. So deployment is in progress. Till then, let me show you. Yes, PG admin. Okay, so if you are using any cloud service provider, and if you host the PostgreSQL, they will be giving you some credential, right? So for that, what you need to do, you need to this is a PG admin tab. Okay, so don't worry if you have not installed this or if you don't know anything about it. I'm just you'll be doing this in the DBMS course. Don't worry. So, but I'm just telling you the process. So for creating a server, you just need right click on the server and register and then server, right? And here you can use the name, that is our server name. So what I have given IITM Azure, right? And then in the connection tab, you can go to connections lab. Here, this host, this username and password you have to mention. So this host address will get from the Azure platform after the deployment. Okay. So deployment is in still progress. Yeah. Okay. We can wait. Once it is deployed, we'll get the credential. So we can use this like host name, this username, this password to connect to the database which is available on the cloud, right? Say for example, I have the say your database, right? Your quiz and interim data in my system. But suppose this laptop had some physical damage. I don't have any other way to access the data. But suppose same databases I have hosted in the cloud, I can access the database from any other laptop, right? So that is the advantage of keeping your database on the cloud.
So for that, we have to connect again with another PG admin tab.
Yeah, you can create multiple server, no issue.
Okay.
Yeah. Can also connect to this database using Python also, like for Psycho2 module is there. You can do that also. You can build the application. You can use those credential in that application and whatever data which you are be using, like for say suppose you are creating a sign up form, right? And you have filled the data, say name, input, password, and register. Then that data will be stored in the cloud database that you will be hosting here, right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Deployment is completed. Let me stop sharing my screen. Okay. Now visible the screen, Azure portal.
Yes, sir. It's
Yeah.
visible.
So once deployment is complete, you can just click on go to resource. And now here you can see the server name. Okay. So don't copy it. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to delete this after the workshop. This is the server name. Yeah, you can simply copy this. Okay. And you can paste in our host uh, tab, right? And here it is server admin. It's my username and password which I have set. Okay. So what I will do, and yeah, it's the resource group. Yeah. So we don't need any other information. We just need this server name, this Azure admin login name. Okay, that's it. So now let us go back to the PG admin. Yeah. So click on register server, give name Azure, then connection, and paste that particular server link here, like Azure IIT.Postgres or database.azure.com, right? Then the port number will be same for PostgreSQL. Then the username, that what I have mentioned, is IITM Piyush 1, IITM Piyush 1, right? And my password, and just enter your password and click on the save. Here you can see IITM Azure server has been created. Now, if you just right click on the server, you can see databases, right? And there, by default, this they have created 3 databases. So anyway, Postgres will be there by default, and this Azure maintenance and Azure system has been created by the Azure only, right? So default one. Now, if you want to host any database, just right click on create database. You can give any name and create a table, or you can just import a database and you can fetch any data, right? So depending upon that. So that this thing will be learning in our DBMS course, right? That's it. Okay, any other doubt?
So,
Password is the yes.
sir,
Yes,
created database automatically will update it on the cloud
yes,
in
yes.
PG admin.
Once you
Okay,
connect to
okay,
the
sir.
server, you can do anything in
Mhm.
the PG admin and it will automatically get updated in our cloud server. Yeah.
Oh, okay, sir.
So like if you have this credential, we both can work on the same database at the same time if we connect, right? That is the case. Yeah. Okay, so don't try my credential. I will delete this after the workshop. After okay. So okay, anyway, any question? I think today we have covered those two module. I will recommend you to try the lab for third module also. It is same as the AZ900 lab only, right? Yeah. Any other doubt? I think we have gone through the lab and the content part. So I will be sharing the slide and please go through the Microsoft Learn platform. So that will be enough. Yeah. Yes, Jaya Revant, any doubt?
Good morning, sir.
Yes.
Sir, my doubt is regarding actually we have done AZ 900 now, sir. We have
Right.
registered the using the training key given, and we have given our mail and name and everything.
Mhm.
So while doing this for these assignments, do we have to register using the training key separately?
Yes, yes. Yesterday we have sent a mail for DP900.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So it's like if we want to do those assignments, we should log in using those credentials. If we want to these assignments, we should log in using these credentials. Is that right?
Yeah. So did you log in from different credential training key?
Yeah, I have only done using AZ900, but after this session, I was planning to do
You need to follow the
DB900.
same process. Just go to that MSLE Learn on Demand website. Just register with training key.
Okay, sir. When they ask mail, can we give the same mail we have given for the before one?
Yeah, you can try, or you can redeem the key. You can just go to the same login that we have you have used for AZ900, and you can see redeem key. So you can redeem the key also.
Okay, sir. Sir, and another doubt is we are doing the assignment now, sir. In that, it's giving separate environment. Can we say that it's a virtual desktop that they have created to do
Yes,
the?
yes, virtual. Yeah, we can
Okay, sir.
monitor you what you are doing on that thing on your virtual lab. On where you are clicking, what you are typing, we all can monitor.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Hello. Sir, when I'm registering for DP900 with practice key, it is saying, sorry, both the email and username supplied are already taken.
So just log in from your AZ900 credential, and you can redeem that key, new key.
Okay, sir.
Redeem option is there, right? You just need to enter that key. That's it.
Hi, good morning, sir. So
Hello.
just want to
Yes.
confirm, is on my dashboard, I have just logged in for the DP900 with its key and it's working fine, but the launch button isn't active currently and it says wait for next 3 hours. Is it the same case or is
Uh,
it just the me? Launch button for the subsequent 3 lab activities. I'm not able to launch any of the first, second, or third lab
hands-on
for
lab.
the DP900.
Hands-on lab or challenging lab?
Hands-on.
Okay.
It says
So
just
like,
wait for
can
like
you see
two
who is the
hours.
instructor name? Instructor name.
Uh, Instructor name. I don't know where
You
exactly I
can
can
just
find that.
go to that lab. You can
Oh,
see basic information.
okay, go to particular lab. Content is exam. No. Duration 2 hour. No. I don't know.
Okay,
Mm.
what is your key?
Key is the new from the uh, for this is for the DP 900
Yes,
starting with
DP900.
5A, starting with 5A 960.
Okay, okay. Let
There is
me check.
a button called event. Click on the arrow given there. There is a mention instructor name.
Event, let me just find it out.
It for same for everyone?
No, sir. It's for me. It's visible. It's okay. Fine.
So that's when I'm asking the.
Instructor, sorry, Adarsh Madre,
Okay, okay,
if
okay.
I'm spelling it
Mhm.
correctly. Yeah.
Okay, we'll see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your key? Can you please repeat it again?
Yeah, it's starting with 5A. I can just copy and paste in the chat.
Okay, we'll see. Yeah. You can
Yeah,
refresh after the workshop. Yeah, we'll see.
right. 5A
Sir,
960.
in my DP900 exam, I mean the portal, right? I can't find this exam this one, right? The challenging one. The challenging exercise is not there, sir. In my DP900, I can see only three
Yeah.
labs over there.
Yeah. Only 3 labs are there. Yeah.
Yeah, there is no challenging one, right?
I have not activated. Let me.
Yeah, same for me. Like there's only 3 labs.
Yeah, only 4 labs are there. Yeah, no challenging one.
No, only 3, sir. I can see only 3 in my.
Yeah, I can see three only,
So
sir.
first one is instructor delivery guide. Then yeah, 3 guides for you. Yeah, 3 labs for you. Yeah. So first two you can try today only, and that data analytics you can try tomorrow.
Hi, Piyush.
My two are done, sir. My first two are done, sir. I'm doing with data analytics, sir. Third one.
You can, if you are comfortable, you can. Yeah, I think you have
Yeah,
done the DBMS course, so you can do that. Yeah.
yeah.
Yes. Anyone?
Yeah, Piyush,
Srinath?
I have a query. I had an existing Microsoft account with my personal ID. So I
Mhm.
logged in that personal ID only without in that normal Microsoft account. There were three options like Microsoft account, then corporate account, and skillable account. So I just logged in through that Microsoft account with my personal existing personal email ID, and I started doing the assignments. And so far, I have completed some three. But I'm being seen as Microsoft that's future skills initiative. And also the classroom shows as none. I'm not part of a class. So the classroom that entry below that Microsoft future students initiative, under that there's an entry called classroom, and the value is given as none. So is it a problem? Can I continue doing the assignments in that uh,
So you have
personal
used
account?
the training key, right? You can go to that particular course name.
I
You can,
redeemed
if
the
you can.
training key because
Yeah,
initially when for the AC 900 I'm talking, I'm not talking of DP 900. That AC
okay.
900 I had to redeem the training key provided because it didn't allow me to just directly log in because I this is on my personal email ID, personal Microsoft account which I already had. So, and
Okay.
also this
So
personal email ID I've provided in the Google form,
okay.
which you had sent us. So can I continue in this doing all the lab assignments and for certification and all those IIT name should be there instead of Microsoft Future that
You
future
can
students initiative.
continue with the lab because I think you have first created a Microsoft account, then you have redeemed the key, right?
Yeah, yeah. On my
Yeah, yeah,
pre-existing Microsoft account
yeah,
already,
yeah.
I
That's why it's showing like this.
so you can track it from the Google form. I've mentioned my personal email ID. You can track it, and
Okay.
I can how to avail the incentives for certification and all later without that IITM being shown on my dashboard.
No, no, for exam, right?
Yeah, for exam or whatever, some other
Yes, yes.
vouchers and all you were talking. So all those are not seen in my dashboard. I'm
So
seen as an isolated
are you on
individual. Individual.
Microsoft Teams?
Yeah, on my mobile phone, I am on Microsoft
Yeah.
Teams.
So go to that our group. In the files, you can see there is one file.
Okay.
Let me just go to that group, and
Okay.
above you can see files option. You can see student underscore fundamental guide ICT. That PPT is there, right? So
Okay.
you need to follow that process.
No, do we have, my question is, do we have to create a new skillable account with the IITM student email ID and then only start doing the lab assignments once again? Or I can continue with this
No, no.
already?
For certification, just what is mentioned in the slide, you can go for it. Yeah. For lab, you can continue. No issue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But for DP900, try to register using training key. Okay. Okay. Yes, Deependra.
So
Yes.
my doubt is related to normalization. When we remove duplication, so we have to create multiple tables, and creating multiple tables consume more space. So is it a good idea to removing a single duplication? We have to create multiple tables because it take more space, more storage, and even we have to write more code for fetching information in multiple tables.
Yeah, because in this way, like if you talk about the storage, so it will not have that much impact. But yes, it will help us to uh, fetch the data or update the data. If you want to update the data, so suppose there are two records of the same name, Dipendra. If I want to update your phone number, so automatically what will get, any other student having the same name, it will also get updated, right? So unless we have that repainter name is unique. So to avoid such anomalies, we generally do normalization to avoid
Okay, okay,
duplicacy
sir.
or redundancy of any data. Yeah. So you will be like you'll be discussing in detail. There are 3 weeks content in DBMS only on normalization part. Yeah,
Okay,
then
sir.
only you
I have
can do
not
that.
completed yet.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
So we'll
sir.
be discussing. It will take the 2 weeks contents are there. Yeah. So you can try out the lab now. If you don't have any question, I will be there till 11. If you have any doubt, you can ask. And I can see many students have not registered it.
Sir, I have query related to Azure SQL database.
Hmm.
So Azure SQL database auto scale or auto scale down based on a number of requests or CPU threshold limit.
Sorry, can you please repeat?
Sir, is Azure SQL database auto
Hmm.
scaling or auto scale down based on the number of connections
Yes, yes,
or
number of
CPU
connections.
threshold?
Yeah. So
Okay,
Azure has some feature pay as you go, right? So as a load increase on database, it will increase the uh, instances, or it will increase our cost also. But when
okay,
there are no user, so we are not using any other resource, right? So it will not cost us. So pay as you go is an option there. Yeah,
okay,
it will take care automatically.
okay, sir.
So there are 3 labs. Okay. So try to complete first 2 lab today only, because the next lab is it will take more time. And we have to do this till tomorrow 10:30 p.m.
Is there any particular time bound for doing the certification, or we can do whenever?
Oh no, you can do anytime. But if you want to go that for Microsoft event in January, then you should do before 25 of this month. Otherwise, you
Okay.
can do anytime. Yeah. You want to go means like you will be eligible for that. Then we'll decide who will go. So I will be sharing the today's slide in the folder, in the same drive folder that I shared with you yesterday.
Piyush, one quick question.
Yes.
Uh, Is this DP900 is a prerequisite for DP100?
DP100.
Yeah, slightly slightly question is not digressing.
Let me check. Any prerequisite is required on the website. You can see.
No, I'm trying, but it's not there.
Actually, they changed the process. Actually, the DP 900 and DP100 are concatenated together.
I'm sorry, Bala. What did he say? This DP900 and DP100?
DP100 is now changed to DP900. There is some collation happened, so I'm not sure about, but there is some concatenation happened. That's why you cannot
After
see
after
DP100 now.
October month, they have some. They updated few courses in October.
No, actually, what the site says is DP100 is actually the combination of 3-4 certificates, DP900, and there are others. I think there are 4. When you combine 4, then everything of 4 or 5 that comes into one DP100. And since they are charging $100 for this, I think $99 for DP900 and
But I
DP100
can
is
see only one exam is there.
DP100, right?
Yeah, DP100. Just Google DP100.
Yeah, DP100 is one exam, but that is equivalent to four DP900 level certification,
Mm-hmm.
4 or
So
5.
you can see. Yeah. So there are some AI fundamentals are
So that
also
is
there, right?
for that course they are charging around $160. So if you take 4 courses to that means you end up spending around 9 into 4 is $360. But in that
So
you will
yeah, we'll be sponsoring the fundamental courses, all the 8 fundamental courses.
okay. But there are other 3 courses also that comes to DP100.
Yeah. So the 8
A-
fundamental
AZ,
courses
there
are
are 2 courses, AZ900 and DP900. There are 2 courses. There are 2 more. I think one is for your data analyst, another is for something the network. I
so
think
these are the
those.
8 courses, right?
Yeah.
Fundamental courses. So Azure fundamental, data fundamental we have covered.
Mm.
AI fundamental power platform you can try, or we'll also try to schedule a workshop. We will see. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
will suggest you these 2 already taken. So this you can go for these 2, even if we are not conducting, but you can try out. You can go to that cloud ready skill. So I have shared a document in the Microsoft Teams. Just you can do by your own also. You can learn also. You can
Yeah.
register for the exam also there only once you are verified at IITM student.
But I'm actually doing this in my work profile as you.
Okay, okay, no issue. Yeah.
Hello, sir. Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning. Yeah.
Yes, sir. I have one request that, sir, please put some slide who is eligible for Microsoft practice, something we are talking about, so that
Like
we can,
Microsoft practice for exam
yeah,
certification.
yeah, exam and who is going for Bangalore, something like you were telling yesterday.
No, no. So see, first you have to complete the certification before 25, and we'll discuss who will go then.
Challenge one also.
No, no. You're talking about the Bangalore event or in general.
Yeah, Bangalore events.
So you have to complete certification before 25. Then we'll see. Who will go for the event. Yeah, not everyone. Either 1 or 2 people only. You just
So
become eligible for that once to do the certification exam. That's it. Yeah.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, for the certification exam, does the lab assignment is also considered for the eligibility criteria?
For certification exam, no, but we'll suggest you that you should do the
Uh,
lab first.
why I can. And like, sir, I tried joining through mobile for that Microsoft group, but it's not like able to join it to it, sir. It's just looping out. It's asking sign in and then again it's asking sign in again and again. I'm not able to join that Microsoft team groups.
So first you can sign into the Microsoft team and then you can click on that link.
Yeah, actually, already had that logged in through my other account, and then I clicked on the link. It was asking sign in again. So again, I signed in. Still, it is not like joining me in the group. Is it possible to add manually if I write out my email ID somewhere?
Uh, yeah, you can try out once.
Yeah, sure. Do I need to type my email ID in the chat?
Not now, but you can just try it out, or you can fill that Google form it has mentioned.
Yeah, I filled it, sir, but still they didn't add me in the group.
Okay, you can mention your email ID. I will see.
Okay.
Hi, sir.
Hello. Yes.
Yeah. So I have already taken the DP 900 certification through my organization, but the AZ 900 is pending one. So I can do that using the IITM one, and the other one is through my organization. So will that be considered for the event like I have taken one through other way
So you have to do any certification like AZ900. You can try. Yeah. So that is
with
through
the
IITM.
IITM one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank
Uh, Sir, what about the student verification issue that some of us are facing?
Yeah. Like I think you have to submit your ID card.
Sir, actually, I did that yesterday, yesterday night, and after some time when I went to check back, it showed that sorry, it was unable to verify, and there was no further option of like redoing it or
Okay.
doing
Okay.
anything else.
Yeah. So we are yet to discuss that detail with the Microsoft team. Yeah. We'll discuss with the Microsoft people.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Sir,
Yes. Good morning, Abhishek.
I just wanted to know, when we go for the main certification exam, like we are attending the workshop from last 2 days, and for DP Azure 900 also and DP 900. So what kind of question we can expect in the main certification exam?
So exam depends like near about 40 to 60 question in between that. Okay. So similar MCQ, MSQ question and few case studies question you can expect. But if you attend the workshop and you just go through the content that is available Microsoft Learn, that will be enough. Like Microsoft Learn website is like I will strongly recommend you to go through it. Just read the content first. Okay, then you go for certification. Because that is the necessary part. Most of the question you can
And
answer by just hello. Yes.
yeah, yeah. And what about the lab assignments we are doing? Like, are we supposed to perform those assignments kind of things over there also?
Where in the exam?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
So the question only consists of the theoretical parts.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
To be eligible to attend the to finish before 25th, do we need to register on Microsoft Learn by ourselves, or is IITM gonna
No.
do
So
something?
we have shared one doc like cloud ready skill that PDF file in the Microsoft team. Just follow that process.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So the student claim certification that file is there, right? Can I share that file? Let me see. Copy link. Why? Okay, I will see. You are in that group, right? So just go to the group files and then you can see first one student underscore fundamental guide.
Yeah, sir. I'll check in the Microsoft Teams.
Yeah. Okay, thank you then. If you have any doubt, you can post it on the Microsoft Team app. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, can we leave because it's not 11 o'clock right now? There are still 10 minutes.
Yes, you can wait or you can leave. No issue. Yeah.
Excuse me, sir, I have a doubt.
Yes.
On the Cloud Ready website, there are 8 certifications available. So, is it possible that we could maybe do all 8 of them, or
Yes,
do
yes.
we
You
have
can
to?
do all 8 of them. Yeah. You
So
can do
that
your
means,
own also. Yeah. No issue.
okay, so that means that we could get vouchers for all 8 of these examinations, or
Yes. Yes.
okay, thank you so much.
Once you follow that process that in mention that PDF, you can claim for all that certification.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, but I will recommend you to first go to DP or Agent 900, right? That we have discussed.
Yes, yes, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. And before taking the exam, please make sure you have prepared well. Okay. So you cannot retake that exam once again. Like right, you cannot reattempt it. You get only one chance to give the exam, and 70% passing is the criteria.
So, how long would these exams be available for us to take?
Like you can take it anytime. No issue.
Like maybe like a month or two? How long do we have roughly?
Uh, Roughly, I'm not confirm it. I will discuss. I will discuss that. But you can say for 2 3 months. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you.
Yeah.
Sir, what is it like? What material we should go through for the exam preparation? I mean, for the exam
So
perspective.
that Microsoft Learn website, that content is must.
But that
That
content is very vast, sir. I mean, it's not that.
no, no, there is no shortcut. You have to go to that content. Yeah.
Yeah,
It is not like I have also gone through it, but it will not take much time.
but following each and every step, memorizing
No, you can
first
skip the
answer.
exercise. Just you've already done the lab, right? You don't need to go for the
Yeah.
exercise. So just go to the theoretical part. That's it.
Okay. Okay. That's the things
Same
actually.
labs are there. Yeah. Same
Yeah.
labs are there. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Let's. I'll try. I'll try, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. But please go through it. Then only you can go for like then only I will recommend you take the exam.
Actually,
Most
sir, there
the
is a
most
one
important.
website, sir. There's one
Hmm.
website. So the similar questions actually, whatever comes in the Azure
Hmm.
certification, right? Mostly it comes from one website only.
That
Okay.
measure up, right?
Sorry, which one?
Measure up.
No,
Which
it's the
website you're
exam topics,
talking
sir.
about?
Exam topics, sir. There is one website, exam topics.
Okay.
So whenever the question comes, right? So the people discuss actually over there, okay, about the question. They give their response.
Hmm.
Okay, what will the answer? So those questions actually mostly comes in the main exam. But if you go through those exam site, I mean those paper, right? The questions are
Hmm.
so difficult, and I mean feels like okay. I mean we haven't gone through those things, and also yeah, it's quite complex actually. Those questions are very
Like before
complicated.
attempting the main exam, you can give practice exam also.
Yeah, I have taken sir one course actually for on Udemy.
Okay.
The practice actually practice exam for Azure 900 actually. So
Hmm.
going through that also. So just to prepare.
Yeah, I think for AZ and Anders it is difficult because more content are there. Which course you have done? AZ or DP? Which certificate?
Is it sir? Is it? Is it?
Yeah, AZ contents are really heavy in that. Yeah.
Yes sir.
DP900 like contents are less, but concept are there. But yeah,
DP is
if you
DP is easy, sir. DP is not issue.
yeah.
Only AZ like
Exit
it's
in
a
it,
vast.
lot more content are there, and you need to go through more theoretical parts are there, right?
Yes, sir.
That
Yes,
cost
sir.
and yeah, yes, that part maintenance part. So that's why I'm saying please go through the content, like Microsoft
Yes.
Learn website.
Okay, sir. Yeah, I'll try.
Yeah. Even I have attended the training conducted by Microsoft. Like you can also attend that, but they are going to use the same content that is available on the Microsoft Learn website. So please go through that only.
Yes, sir.
And on YouTube, you can see like many questions are there, videos are there, right?
Yes,
Same
sir.
you're talking about some same thing.
Correct, correct, correct.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Then I will close the session at 11.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.